We've seen a lot of news about self-driving cars and the development and the laws that have been passed to let them operate on the roads with or without operators. Well, unfortunately, in Arizona, there was a fatal accident involving a pedestrian recently. So Uber had one of its self-driving cars, a Volvo, I believe, and Tempe police said that the self-driving car was in autonomous mode. I believe that there was an operator in the car, there was, and hit a woman pulling a bicycle along the road, and the car hit her at about 40 miles an hour and didn't seem to stop at all. So Uber has currently stopped testing in Arizona. I think they've stopped all their testing across the board right now with their autonomous cars till they figure out what's going on. This is kind of a scary story.
It is a scary story, and it is a tragedy that a person has died. But I do think that we are primed to react to it in ways that don't make a lot of sense, honestly.
Agreed.
There were probably, I think I read there were probably at least 16 other fatal pedestrians hit by cars yesterday alone. And so one was hit by a self-driving car, and so they're turning off all their testing, and that's fine, I guess. They want to figure out what it was, but the car apparently didn't see the person. The person in the car didn't see the person. There are always, here's the thing, self-driving cars will hit people, they will get in accidents, they will kill people. That is simply a truth. And we are not going to develop self-driving cars so long as they never get in an accident. That's just unrealistic, unfortunately, despite the fact that there are tragedies like this along the way.
When you say self-driving cars will kill people, it's like, are you writing the next Terminator over here?
Hopefully not through bloodlust, but certainly through mechanical failure, and there are complex situations involving weather and darkness and reflections.
No, absolutely. You know, it's an interesting, the way I think about it, and this is where I get most intrigued talking about self-driving cars, is when people start talking about the trolley thought experiment, right? Which is, you know, the thought experiment at which point, if you pull the lever to save people, but if you pull the lever to save people on the trolley that's going out of control and it's going to cost one other person their life, like, what are you willing to do?
Yes.
And so as you program a self-driving car, at what point is the programming take over when you get to the ubiquity of that and the ubiquity of traffic? You know, you're gonna have people writing programming decisions as to whether or not the car is going to make the decision to save more people at the cost of the rider's life versus, like, because as a driver, you're gonna, chances are, prioritize your own life and the life of your passengers versus the bus full of people, right? But
yeah, we need the law of robotics, basically.
Well, right, and I don't know that, look, like, we see the way many Silicon Valley companies and just people in the tech space take this idea of disruption. I don't know that necessarily people are thinking ethically that way. It does start to bring in some really ethical questions.
That perhaps the individual corporation should not be deciding on it. It might need to be a government regulation sort of thing.
Like, corporations can't decide how everything's gonna go? Wait,
not for who should live and who should die. And it will create complex situations. I mean, that was the plot of iRobot in the end, is trying to decide in a situation where you can't actually decide. It's very complex, but what we have in the thought experiment is we have this terrible situation that is happening. We need to choose. That's potentially true. It's certainly an interesting hypothetical, but self-driving cars can help to lower the incidence of those dangerous situations. I mean, a self-driving car could accidentally hit someone. That is a terrible mechanical failure that we can iterate on. A regular person makes the conscious decision to be sending a tweet while traveling 60 miles per hour, and that is not a hypothetical, and it is not rare. Right now, all around us, 10%, 30%, 50% of drivers are on their phones. You stop at a stoplight, everyone is on their phones. I see that and I think, God, please let us switch over to cars that are driving themselves as soon as possible, because we can't be trusted, not through failures that we can learn from, but through conscious decision that we will value our entertainment over our own lives and the lives of other people.
See, I'm more interested in a self-driving car just because I spend an hour each way and I could get so many more movies watched.
You can watch a lot of movies.
I am ready for the self-driving car purely for selfish reasons.
Yeah, you can watch Death Race.
Exactly, I can live Death Race. All right, so are you ready for a self-driving car? If all the bugs get worked out, let us know on Facebook or Twitter.